Good afternoon. City Secretary, would you please call this meeting to order?
Notice of a public meeting of the City Commission of the City of Brownsville pursuant to Chapter 5 and Title 5 of the Texas Government Code, the Texas Open Meetings Act. Notice is hereby given that the City Commission of the City of Brownsville, Texas, in accordance with Article 5, Section 12 of the Charter of said city, will convene a special meeting on Thursday, March 24th, 2011 at 4 p.m. in the Commission chambers on the second floor of Brownsville City Hall, Old Federal Building, located at 1001 East Elizabeth Street, Brownsville, Cameron County, Texas.
Everybody will please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Will you please bow your heads? Lord, as we gather this day, we give you thanks for the many blessings that we have received upon our families and upon ourselves. We ask you for guidance during this meeting that we are about to partake. We ask that it may be in the best interest for our city and for all its citizens. And we ask once again for continued blessings for us, for our families, and for all our citizenry. In this we pray. Amen.
Amen.
We'll begin with public comment period. Do we have any public comments?
No.
None?
No.
All right. And we'll continue on to action items. Item number 2.
Action item, consideration and action regarding contracting with Peyton Bogues Law Firm as lobbyist consultants.
Mr. Sassi, would you please introduce this, and then I'll invite either Dr. Marin or Fred Rusterberg to come up and elaborate
Would I please introduce?
what this is about.
All right. Basically, through United Brownsville, the different entities have gotten together and have discussed, different ideas about hiring a law firm as a lobbying consulting group. The law firm Patton Boggs, I think perhaps some of the other individuals here can give you their background. They have an extremely impressive background lobbying on a national and even international level. A nation involved with the rebuilding of Iraq. So the different entities have discussed the possibility of together pooling their resources to basically hire this firm
Thank you, Commissioners. I'm here on behalf of United Brownsville. As Mr. Saucy mentioned, we spent quite a bit of time discussing this, researching it. And we have a unique opportunity at this time to have a very good law firm. It's known internationally. They represent the Republic of Mexico and many other countries, as well as they do a lot of work internationally as well as domestically. And they have a keen interest in what we're doing here, mainly because of the comprehensive plan. They would like to represent us for a 90-day trial period. They've dropped their rates down. It would be for $75,000 plus $5,000 in expenses. And what they will do, they have at least 3 deliverables. One is to help us prioritize our initiatives as to funding opportunities. And so they will help us prioritize, identify what money is available, what agencies have it, and how we can, and they will help us to achieve that. They'll also work on binational economic zone, and since they have this expertise in building Iraq and Afghanistan and some of these other war-torn countries, they come in with a very good perspective, and of course they represent the Republic of Mexico, and so they see a keen opportunity between Brownsville, Matamoros, and the region outside of Brownsville domestically on what we can do in establishing a zone. And then thirdly, the deliverable is to see what foundation or structure legally and or politically needs to be established. So it's a great opportunity. The United Brownsville Board is comprised of 7 entities, as you know, and they all approved $20,000 from United Brownsville. The BEDC approved $20,000. We're asking you to approve $20,000 tonight. PUB will be Monday night, and I'll be happy to answer any other questions.
At this time, I'll ask the commission if they would like to start. Commissioner Camarillo, do you have questions you'd like to?
Yes, Mr. Rustenberg. How long ago was all this in the plan?
We've been working on this since the fall, and we were trying to find ways that we can best be more efficient. Number one, identifying, we can only do so much locally, and identifying lobbyist groups, and of course they do a lot more than just lobby, but help us find, especially in these economic times, what money is available and how we can access that money for our area.
Okay. At what point was the firm Penn Boggs looked at by the group? Was it brought out individually? Was it, well, let's get UB to kind of put that out there amongst the other entities, or how were they recommended, and when were they down here?
Well, there's been a lot of dialogue, and I can allow Dr. Marin to talk to some extent on that. But I have had some knowledge of them before, as many other people have, and they sent 4 of their key people from Washington and other places down here to meet with a group from Brownsville and some from Matamoros.
And when was this? When was this?
I believe it was in November. I can't recall exactly.
No, when they came, it wasn't November. It was maybe 6 weeks ago.
Okay, well, it seems like a long time, but at any rate, we've had several meetings.
So late January, they were down here. Is there a reason for the time frame to vote on the item today? Is there?
There actually is. We have a narrow window of opportunity. As you know, a lot of people are posturing for the funds that are available in Washington at this time. And what's going on in they're patient, but they're just saying, you know, the sooner we can get this done, the better. And
if I may, at this point, there is a unique opportunity to attempt to obtain funds from Washington. Patton Boggs has worked with the city of San Diego, other work around the nation. We have immigration issues. We obviously have security issues. We have an influx of immigrants who are trying to avail themselves of our community. And we're in a situation where we can, if we have the right advocates, possibly land millions of dollars for security issues, for development issues in Venezuela and Colombia, is that when you increase the economic level of the community, you decrease violence. And those are some of the plans that are being presented by the Secretary of State. When you talk to the people at Patton Boggs, when you talk to people in Washington about what's going on in Washington and what their strategies are, that's the reason why we want a company like this. We want somebody who deals with these issues and can access the contacts in Washington that can direct funds to our community. I think Patton Boggs is an excellent law firm. It has an excellent reputation. And the timing right now with what
that we all want to take. I guess to me, Mr. Rustenberg and Carlos Marin, you know, I visited with Commissioner Gallen on the information regarding all this, and I asked you the time frame. You know, I think I've only received maybe 2 emails from UB, and there were both letters from elected officials regarding what UB's done. And I would like to be afforded the same opportunity that the other commissioners were to hear the presentation, to be a part of something that it is huge. There is no doubt in my mind that that's the direction and that's needed. But of course, I don't have all that. And I want to be a part of that because I think it's important for all of us to know. And for all of us to kind of, you know, try to get a presentation, whether it's not with Patton Boggs, but with you or either yourself, Doc, to kind of, you know, let's all be on the same page because, the result of in the past, well, let's just, you know, get what we need and so that we could move this whole thing forward. kind of has to stop. Everyone needs to be a part of it so that regardless of however they're going to vote, I believe it's something that's vital and important. But I too want to be able to either visit with them or visit with yourselves to get the information. And I had mentioned this to Brian. He had been sending emails to another email account. I think I sent him that email twice saying, hey, Brian, send it to my city email. I don't think there's a problem with receiving UB information on a city email account. But the only thing I receive, and I'm sure hundreds if not thousands of emails have gone out about UB information or workshops or what's going on are there. I haven't received not one. So that is a concern, so that I could be an advocate to say, it's right on. It's exactly what we want to do. I want to be able to do that, and I want the rest of the commissioners to feel the same way.
Well, I guess our main challenge in doing anything is communication, and we can always do better. I know that the city commissioners that are aware of it were appointed, to the UB board, and that's probably why they
Right.
have more information. But it's not anyone's intention to keep this a secret, and the stars seem to be aligned just right. And at any rate, I appreciate your time on this.
I have a couple of questions real quick. The United Brownsville, the committees, the process of attaining patent bogs, was it them reaching out to us because of the opportunities coming up, or us reaching out to them? And if we did reach out to them, this is my deal. Are they the Michael Jordans of lobbyists? Because if they are, then I'm with it. Or did it go out for proposals? How did it come about, and why? You already told me why you feel they are, but how was that process?
Well, that's a good question. Would you like to answer?
Commissioner, first let me address your concern. I agree with Fred. Communication is key, and if we haven't done our job, we need to understand why and try to correct that. But this is obviously a sensitive issue. The last thing we want to do is go out ahead of ourselves and start talking about something that may not happen. And so we started with a group, which is the United Brownsville Committee. Members of that board were invited to the presentations. And it was only after that became a credible possibility that we started going out. So that somewhat explains the rationale for why the group was initially invited. Everyone that was invited was a member of the United Brownsville Board or representatives of that board in the different public entities. With respect to why patent bogs, sometimes you have to act quickly. What happened is one of the initiatives of United Brownsville was approved back in January, was the was the Border Security and Economic Development Initiative. And the basic point there was that we can't just rely on military strategies in order to deal with the uncertainty and the violence in Mexico. And so one of the most important things we wanted to do was bring awareness to the issue that it's not just about military intervention or public safety capacity building, but that economic development is an essential piece of that. And so one of the strategies was how to create awareness of that, not only locally, but primarily at the state and the federal levels. And one of the firms that we were involved with in the comprehensive plan, Mesa Planning, it turns out that one of the brothers of this gentleman is one of the principals, partners at Patent Bogs. And so the conversations we were dealing with conversations about the border security and how to handle it, and there was concerns about how to bring economic development to the play. And there was mentions of what Patent Bogs was doing in Afghanistan and Iraq, managing hundreds of billions of dollars in capacity building, exactly what we're talking about. If you investigate Petraeus' military strategy in Iraq and Afghanistan, it's not just about military strategies and victories, it's about capacity building. The military, our own military realizes that in order to have sustainable gains in democratic achievements, you need economic development. And so the circumstances just align themselves like Fred was talking about, and there's a very narrow window of opportunity. And so we acted on it, and they were very interested. We met in Washington with them. I mean, I paid for my trip. I went up there on my own and said, hey guys, we talked to them, and they found the idea very attractive, and they see the potential where this can go. And we found out they're doing that in Afghanistan and Iraq. They're representing the state of Tamaulipas. They're representing the Calderon administration. They're very well connected with the Department of Energy, Department of Defense. They represent the Port of LA. And they see this as a tremendous opportunity, not only just in Brownsville, Matamoros, but across the entire border. So we had a meeting with the board representatives of United Brownsville to present the idea. They came down, discussed it, and whether it was worth pursuing. And so that's where we are. And there was interest got passed by United Brownsville, and now we're going to each of the public entities. But it's a very narrow window of opportunity. Earmarks, the traditional approach where you go to your lobbyist or your Congress and try to get money for it is going by the wayside. Now we have to come up with innovative and elegant ideas to attract that money. And this is an elegant idea that's got a lot of potential. And the window of opportunity is narrowing. We need to act now.
Is that why you only need 3 months?
Well, there's also the issue of how we hire lobbyists and what we want from our lobbyists. And if you look at the contract with Patton Boggs, it puts them basically on a 3-month prove yourself period. You know, we can all talk a big game, but are you going to be able to deliver? Secondly, reduce your fees. And number 3, we want deliverables. We don't want just a list that says we're going to go talk to people and open the doors for you and get you invited to parties.
That was one of the big things. A lot of times lobbyists will say we have callbacks or we've had contact.
Yeah.
And we're not interested in contact. We're interested in obtainable results where they can show that they've actually fulfilled objectives for us. I wouldn't want, as a city commissioner or as a public servant, a list of phone calls. I'd want, this is what has happened over the last 2 months, and these are the objectives that we've fulfilled. And I think that's what, you know, we've built into the contract through United Brownsville with Patton Boggs. It's a 3-month deal. We're not trying to get rid of anyone else. We're not trying to replace anybody else.
Yeah.
What we're saying is, can you perform? If you can perform, then we have more business for you. If you don't, we have no more money for you. Simple.
And
Mayor Pro Tem, may I? I have a few comments about this. Number one, I'm a little leery entering into another contract with a company when we already have a company that's supposed to be providing those services for us. Obviously, some of us are unhappy with the services that have been provided. Nonetheless, they're there, we're paying for them, and I understand that there's a rush to approve this, but to pay two firms to do the same job for us during these tough economic times, I'm just a little leery about that. Number two, we've had individuals come before us or approach us individually in the past to provide these services to us, and we've turned them away because we've told them that there's a process. There's a RFP process where we want to give everyone a fair opportunity to present to us and offer these services to us. And on that same token, they come before us, they make their presentation, they do their sales pitch, and no one from this firm is here today. Undoubtedly, from meeting with Commissioner Gowan, I know that they come with excellent references, but I would have liked to have seen them here before us today. So those are my comments.
Question. I just want to say too, we have our lobbyists, and you know what? When Commissioner Gowan and I went with our lobbyists, they got us into the door with congressmen, with people. We actually didn't have to sit in the lobby and meet with a staffer. We got in to meet with high-level staffers and other commissioners, and bottom line is they serve their purpose to take care of our bus system and other stuff that we have going. Our city staff works with DOS Logistics to keep what we already have. I think with what Dr. Marin is talking about is another level of connections. It all comes down to connections. And the connections they have with the military and stuff that could provide for Brownsville, that's a niche. So, you know, I don't think every other entity is gonna get rid of their lobbyists and put their whole hopes on Patton Boggs, but it's an opportunity, and it's, from what I understand, is a little window of opportunity. I say, why not? Why not have these huge connections at this time when we need it?
Dr. Lundy, let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Gowan.
I'm sorry. Go
Sorry.
ahead.
I understand Commissioner Zamota's point. I would agree that this is a different level of lobbyist. I think that's a good phrase for a totally different type of project. I don't think that many lobbyists, including our current lobbyists, have the level of expertise for this type of pilot program on both sides of the border and such that these people do. And I do think that that's something that we need to capitalize on. The time frame with which they came, I do remember specifically, was the first weekend in February when it froze, because there was no electricity. I remember that. And the only reason I got to go was because the clinic was closed because there was no electricity. So it wasn't the fall when they came, it was definitely in February. But I do think this is an unprecedented opportunity for us. And the other thing that I wanted to comment on is that in that brief 20 minutes that I was there, everyone knows that I'm passionate about wellness and such, and they had a unique understanding that I didn't have to spell out to them about the interconnection between the economy and all these different areas with respect to the environment and conservation and wellness and such. And that was very telling to the level of their expertise and talent and intelligence that and many other lobbyists don't have.
I want to end with something real quick. The lobbyists, DOS Logistics, I think I think we only allowed them 60,000 a year to do all our lobbying, which compared to people like Patton Boggs, it's 60,000 a week that they charge, or 60,000 a month. We can't afford Patton Boggs for a whole year, but I think we can join forces with other entities to pay, what, $6,000 a month for 3 months. I think it's an opportunity there, because for the city of Brownsville to bring in a firm like Patton Boggs, we're going to pay $60,000 a month, not $60,000 a year. So I
That's
think
why the deliverables are so important.
Yeah.
If they generate millions of dollars, then 60,000 is pretty small.
Mayor Pro Tem, can we clarify how much we currently pay DOS Logistics per month?
It's $7,000 a month, which equates to
$84,000 a year. And this firm is currently asking for how much a month?
$20,000 from the city of Brownsville.
20,000 is the city's
For 3 months.
contribution?
for 3
Per
months.
month is $25,000 a month.
25,000 a month.
For 3 months, it's 75 plus 5,000 worth of expenses. But
The
it's
city
split
of
four
Brownsville
ways.
is
Portion from the
20,000.
city.
It's 20,000, which is 6,000 a month, corresponds to the city.
In other words, you're going to have 4 entities contribute.
Correct.
The BCH, the BEDC,
Correct.
the PUB,
United Brownsville.
United Brownsville,
one
and
question.
City of Brownsville.
And who's committed so far?
United Brownsville and BDC. Today is the city and Monday is PUB.
Commissioner Camarillo?
Doc, do you all have the contract?
The contract, we give a copy to Lee Brooks.
I don't have
You
it.
don't have it?
I don't have it with me. I have it in the car.
So we're voting on a contract that we don't have a
You don't
copy
have
of?
I
Well, the
can-
commissioner said
Letter of
It's a proposal.
proposal.
That's a proposal.
You don't
Okay.
have it, Mark?
So it's not a contract.
It's simply a contract, and Commissioner, I would point out that, law firms are retained probably all the time by this commission without a contract. If the commission wanted to vote to hire Patton Boggs, I mean, certainly they could authorize the city manager to enter into and approve a contract subject to legal review. This way it wouldn't have to go back, and we could probably get it done within 24 hours.
Well, if we're
then- and
expecting
that's- Well, I'm
deliverables-
sorry, Commissioner. Well, that's why I asked the city manager, have you seen a contract? Well, have you seen a letter or proposal?
There is a list of deliverables that was provided, and there is a letter of basically representation that they're saying that they are going to provide. That was provided, or I was shown that when I went to the United Brownsville meeting. I didn't know that they had given it to Rose, and I wasn't aware that we didn't have it here right now. But there are specific objectives that are in this letter. Now, do you all have that? So that
If
we
you don't
can-
have it, Carlos, I know it's in my car.
No, I can,
For
Well, Doc, can I go back and say this? I fully support this. It's needed. Again, the proposal, contract letter, I don't have.
We
Okay.
have a meeting Tuesday.
No, I understand that. But again, I'm just going back to the fact that the information,
We don't have a meeting Tuesday.
the information needs to be, via email, you put confidential, we won't share it to anyone else. But at least to know, these bullet points that city managers should be aware of, and as some of the commissioners are aware of, the rest aren't. And I just, I'm just asking for that. Like I said, but this is much needed.
you're perfectly correct.
Excuse me,
Yes.
I don't want to reiterate, but the fact of the matter is, I'm out of the dark on this also. You and I have spoken, and I'm in agreement with you, and I do believe that this is something good. Being one of the stewards of the city's money, and I'm sorry, Dr. Marin, I don't mean it in a form of disrespect, but this is sloppy. This is sloppy as far as
You
it
don't
being
have the
presented to us.
I do not
Rose,
have a
you have
copy
the
of the letter.
information.
I'll go
We
get it.
don't.
No, I'll go get it. It's
No.
in my car.
Give me a second.
Seriously.
No, I know. You'll get. The thing is, one of the 7 city commissioners has it, not the other 6, and we're expected to make a decision for as small as the amount of money might be right now. we're being asked to make a decision, which only one of the 7 members of the council has the paperwork to. Now, I'm in
Mark would
agreement.
have it.
I am in agreement also, like the majority of the commission, is that we go with patent box, that we give it a try.
Yep.
But please understand that as a policymaker, as a policy enforcer, this goes really outside of the realm of how we, how we're going to dispense the money to this company. No RFQs,
Let me ask you
no
something too.
presentation before the commission.
Mark, you put this on agenda, you have nothing?
We do not have a contract, but I mean,
You don't have a proposal?
there was a letter, it wasn't a contract, okay?
Okay, where's the letter, Mark?
But
Shouldn't you have the letter in your office? Your office is right there.
Yeah. Charlie, you were in the meeting in United Brownsville, you got a packet. We forwarded to Rose so she could distribute the copy to the city manager as represented from United Brownsville. I could email this to you right now. Yeah. I apologize. I thought it was going to be distributed prior to the meeting. My apologies.
Well, don't you, I think they've explained it, I mean, and I think everybody's supportive of United Brownsville and Imagine Brownsville, want to continue to ensure that, hey, everything is functioning and working the way it's supposed to. And so we just want to make sure that all these, whatever little tidbits of info we could get, that's all it takes for me.
Now,
Mayor-
Fred,
I apologize.
Fred, when, you know that we've been with you from the very beginning with United Brownsville. We all stand as a united front. But ultimately, like I've told you in the past, and like I've told other people in the past, we're the ones that answer to the people of the city of Brownsville. And when we're asked this afternoon, when we're asked tomorrow, what kind of a decision did you make? If I get called by the media right after this meeting, had you seen anything? Had you received anything? You can imagine how it's going to be perceived on the daily paper when I'm making a decision on city money and not having any previous information to base my decision on. For as favorable as this is, I really do. Like I told you, I am in agreement with what Patent Boggs is offering. I just don't want to be caught not following the proper directives or not following the proper lines of procedure in being able to dispense this money to this firm.
Well, I certainly understand fiduciary responsibility, and we'll be happy to get that to you, I guess, right now.
And friend Duck, one other point, I know we can say that Commissioner Gowan had all the info, but if somebody just sent it to me, and if I had that responsibility, I know we got 10,000 things going on, and I don't blame her.
No.
She's a doctor. She has, she has so much going on, and so this needs to go to the people that need to get it to us, because I can't just expect Rose to boom send it to everybody right the moment she gets it. I mean, I understand everyone's schedules are crazy, so it really needs to be in the hands of you all to get us that information, not just one commissioner, because I know she has so much going on.
Well, we all do, and I understand that, so, we could have done a better job, I agree.
Yeah.
Mayor Pro Tem,
Apologies.
I'd like to make a motion to table the item.
Why?
Until we get backup for the material.
She's
for the
copying it right
agenda.
now.
But if it's going to become part of public record, did it have to be submitted 72 hours before? So it's not within the time limit right now.
Well, we didn't get anything.
Would it be within the time limit of Tuesday's meeting?
Yes. We can do a special meeting.
Mark, I recall specifically asking you whether this needed to be included in the packet, and you told me no.
The city commission, this isn't, okay, the amount on this contract isn't even something the city commission has to vote on, okay? The city manager has the authority to contract on his own, within his own discretion, all right? This matter was simply brought to the city commission so the city commission could be aware of what was going on and provide some direction to the city staff, okay? But actually, the city commission doesn't have to approve this contract as a matter of law.
Well, if
The
you're
city
going to make an
manager would
effort to
have
put
the
it on the
authority.
agenda, then let's have some backup material.
Ask everybody to come down.
City Manager, is this something that you wish to pursue under your authority for your expense?
I would rather the commission, now that it's been posted, considering this and based on the concerns, that if you're not gonna vote on this today, that we, have a meeting next week.
Doc, Mr. Rosenberg, is there a problem if we vote on this on Tuesday, or you need it today?
That's fine, I can't make it, I got a board meeting, but,
I think we
Whatever-
pretty
whatever-
much got what we need to get.
Yeah.
It's just
What-
a matter of housekeeping. I mean, I think the message is definitely clear on what we need to do, but it's just the housekeeping part of it that got kind of fumbled today. So, but if I would entertain, if our city manager has that authority, yeah, I mean, I'm fine with it. If we don't have to vote on it, I don't know, what do you think?
I mean, I'd make the motion to approve with the understanding that the city manager and the city attorney review the document and forward that to the city commission, and that they do sign off, they concur with the information that's been provided.
I'll second that.
Miss, hold on, we have a motion.
There was a motion to table.
Does your motion continue, or do you want to retract your motion?
Continue, I'm sure it'll go, but you can continue.
Does Commissioner Zamora have a second? Motion dies for lack of a second. Do I have another motion?
Make the motion to approve with the understanding that the city manager and city attorney review the documents and provide them to the city commission as they receive them.
Would you like a meeting next week for a presentation?
I don't think we do.
We could have a brief workshop on it, that'd be fine.
I'll second that.
City Attorney, do you want that in executive session or open session?
It can be an open session.
Open
that's fine.
session, okay. Do you want to set a date?
Next Tuesday.
Is the commission fine with next Tuesday?
Sure.
I'm gonna have a motion to approve, indicating that the city manager and attorney prepared this for the city commission and that we convene on Tuesday at 5:30?
Just for a workshop, 5:30.
5:30 workshop and action at 6?
Well, we're approving it.
Okay, we're approving, I'm sorry.
We're approving it, so we
Okay,
just want a
so
workshop
For a
follow-up.
workshop and a follow-up on Tuesday at 5:30 PM. Do I have a second? Second by Commissioner Triani. All in favor, answer by saying aye.
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 Nay.
One nay. Motion carries.
okay, thank you.
Motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second. We stand adjourned. Thank you.
We
There was item
have
two.
another item.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Make the
What's-
motion
what-
to
what-
call
sorry.
back, go back.
Sorry,
Go
I'll
back to item
retrieve
two.
the motion to adjourn.
I want to move to table item number 2.
Second.
Have a motion to table item number 3
No, number 3.
by Commissioner Atkinson, seconded by Commissioner Camarillo. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries, and now we do stand adjourned. Thank you.
Ready to go?